Hello and welcome, this is Gwen. Let's talk about patch 12.21 notes, League of Legends' latest November patch. With the League of Legends World Championship finals right around the corner and preseason lurking in the shadows, this patch has been kept very light, only seeing a few small balance adjustments with one exception. Let's get hyped, not only for Worlds but for the release of the new champion today. So, who is that champion? That's Kisante. And actually, this handsome new 200-year brawler assassin tank will hit the rift today, and we expect him to make quite the impact, considering that the past few new champion releases had to be hotfix nerfed almost immediately. While we do not recommend first timing him in your ranked games, immediately make sure to grab him and try him out in some normal games. So let's get into champion buffs, and the first one we have here is Ari. So the skill that got affected here is Q, which is mana cost, went from 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, went down to 55, 65, 75, 85, and 90. Damage per pass through went from 40, 65, 90, 115, 140 plus 40 percent AP, all the same but plus 45% AP. Ari has not been doing very well over the past month, consistently sitting at a 48% win rate across regions, 41.7% for Ari support in particular. Don't do that. Therefore, the Nine-Tailed Fox is receiving both a 5-point mana cost reduction as well as a slight increase on her Q AP ratio. Those small changes amount to only a 2 to 6% scaling increase in her Q damage and a tiny increase in mana efficiency. While those changes will certainly benefit her in eventually reaching a balanced state, again, Ari is currently one of the weakest choices for the mid lane. The next champion we have here that got affected is Corki, with base stats of health growth, which went from 101 to 105. Attack damage growth went from 2.5 to 2.8. Actually, Corki is not a champion that is seen a lot on the Rift with only a 1% pick rate overall. Currently, it takes him too long to get online, and most players don't wish to rely on a heavy scaler in a very aggressive skirmish heavy meta. The buffs to his scaling are an interesting choice for players that wish to commit to this late game heavy play style, but ever since the nerfs to his very problematic full AP poke build, Corki has not been a strong or relevant champion. We recommend not picking him up until he is treated to some more well deserved buffs in the future. The next champion we have here is Malzahar. With his E skill, E ability change, E will now execute minions below 15 to 45 health, levels 1 to 11. While Zahar is receiving a tiny quality of life change to his beloved's Space Poison E ability, making it a bit easier for him to reliably clear waves. Although certainly much appreciated by Malzahar mains, those changes will not affect his strength level significantly, if at all. The next champion we have here is Miss Fortune, and let's start with her E, which is the magic damage that went from 70, 100, 130, 160, 190 plus 100% AP, went to almost everything the same but plus 120% AP. The slow rate went from 50% plus 4% per 100 AP, went to 40% plus 6% per 100 AP. Then we have R, which is the damage per wave. 75% AD plus 20% AP went to 75% AD plus 25% AP. Miss Fortune as an ADC has been incredibly popular and successful over the last 2 months. A game where either Miss Fortune, Israel, or Kaisa are not played has become a very, very rare occurrence, really. What is odd is that these changes are officially declared as nerfs, but with only a 10% decrease in her slow in exchange for massive increases in scaling AP rate Russians. We are convinced that these are buffs more so than nerfs to the champion, whilst AP Misfortune is still considered an off meta pick. Keep an eye out for new coming mage Misfortune players. Her strength as an ad carry did not drop at all either, so if you like a more caster focused playstyle, we can only recommend you pick her up as soon as possible for both lane roles. Next champion we have Ornn with R that went from that's maximum slow that went from 40, 50, 60% to 60% at all ranks. The changes to Ornn's ultimate ability this patch appear to be more a bug fix than a buff. What makes this change mostly irrelevant is the fact that the full combo utilizes the slow of his Q to be able to hit his E and both parts on his R on the target. Ornn is a very good balanced state right now and does not need any substantial buffs in the first place. He will continue to provide upgraded items and a strong front line for his team this patch. Next champion we have is Jin Zhao. We have here the passive third hit bonus damage 15, 25, 35, 45% AD that went to 15, 30, 45, 60% AD. Heal went from 6 to 75 based on level plus 10% AD plus 55% AP. That went to 6 to 74 based on level plus 10% AD plus 65% AP. Then we have E. Cooldown is 12 seconds that went down to 11 seconds. Jin Zhao is one of the early game brawlers that are not commonly seen in a solo queue right now, being outshined by Graves and Bel'Veth, which are considered massively better options at the moment to counteract this and to bring him into a more pickable state. Both his passive bonus damage and E cooldown have been adjusted, the latter due to his Q ability cooldown reduction, bringing a tremendous buff to his kit. The passive heal AP ratio increase can safely be disregarded as it is far from enough to see a resurgence of full AP Jin Zhao, probably for the better, while buffs will most definitely help him climb back into a playable state. He will not be a higher priority pick than the other brawlers anytime soon. Next, we have the champion nerfs, and the first one we have here on the list is Bel'Veth. With her E, the cooldown went from 22, 20.5, 19, 17.5, 16 down to 24, 22.5, 21, 19.5, 18, and R went from Void Remora health 50, 60, 70% down to 40, 50, 60% of minions maximum health. Bel'Veth is doing very well in the jungle, arguably a bit too well. She currently dominates the meta, bringing a pick or ban champion and go-to option for most junglers right now, but instead of nerfing things that are relevant to what turns her into the menace she is in the first place. Both her E cooldown and R bet minion health were decreased. E above and below is commonly used only once during ganks or shorter skirmishes really due to the long cooldown and is not relevant for clearing camps. We protect Bel'Veth to stay at the top of the food chain in the jungle until she is hit with substantial nerfs to her kit and can only recommend playing her as long as she remains this strong, really. The next champion that we have here the next champion that we have here is Blitzcrank, with base states of base health that went from 653 to down to 633, and base magic resist from 32 down to 28. The W of bonus attack speed that went from 40, 53, 66, 79, 92%, all the way up to 30, 43, 56, 69, 82%. Right tried really hard to push Blitzcrank into the jungle role instead of embracing the literal hit or miss hook support that he's always been known for. The reason why he is not getting further buffs is the soon coming changes to the jungle overall in preseason. That might immediately catapult him to the top. During the time we all wait for preseason to hit, Blitzcrank will receive some nerfs to combat his current slightly overtuned state as a support pick, rocking a huge 52.8% win rate in Platinum and above. Force role changing a champion like this without affecting his other roles too much is very difficult, and actually we predict that a slight decrease in his base health and magic resist, making him weaker into mage matchups, won't affect him too much this patch. And that's it for this patch's update. For more information about the latest updates for your favorite champions, please join us at Rift School. Until next time, bye.